Okay, we are in episode 35 of Beowulf. Open up to page 102. When we left episode 34, the narrator was providing us with an epic simile called the Father's Lament. Episode 35 continues the epic simile of the Father's Lament. Again, on your characteristics and conventions chart, if you open up to the section labeled opens in media res or in the middle, episode 35 opens right in the middle of the Father's Lament. And then, crying his sorrow, he crawls to his bed. The world and his home hurt him with their emptiness. And so it seemed to Hrethel when Hereward was dead, and his heart swelled with grief. The murderer lived. He felt no love for him now, but nothing could help. Word nor hand nor sharp-honed blade, war nor hate, battle or blood or law. The pain could find no relief. He could only live with it, or leave grief and life together. When he'd gone to his grave, Halfson and Higelac, his sons, inherited everything. So what the narrator is saying is that Hrethel wants revenge for his son's death. And he sees his other son, who accidentally killed his brother, as a murderer. So much so that he dies with that guilt because he is unable to revenge his son's death. And then there was war between Geats and Swedes. Bitter battles carried across the broad sea when the mighty Hrethel slept and Ongenbo's sons thought Sweden could safely attack. Some are used to pretending friendship, but raided and burned, and near old Rensburg slaughtered Geats with their thieving swords. So now, because Hrethel is so enveloped in his grief, the Swedes decide that they can now invade. My people repaid them, death for death, battle for battle. Though one of the brothers bought that revenge with his life, Halfson, king of the Geats, killed by a Swedish sword. But when dawn came, the slayer was slain, and Higlac's soldiers avenged everything with the edge of their blades. Efer caught the Swedish king, cracked his helmet, split his skull, dropped him, pale and bleeding, to the ground, then put him to death with a swift stroke, shouting his joy. So, again, we're paying back. There's the example of Efor killing the Swedish king in order to take revenge for the death of his own leader. The gifts that Higelac gave me and the land I earned with my sword, as spake aloud. He never needed Danes or Goths or Swedes, soldiers and allies bought with gold, bribed to his side. My sword was better, and always his. In every battle, my place was in front, alone, and so it shall be forever, as long as the sword lasts, serves me in the future as it has served me before. So I killed Dagworth, the Frank, who brought death to Higelac, and who looted his corpse. Higlad's necklace, Wealhtheow's treasure, never came to Dagworth's king. The thief fell in battle, but not on my blade. He was brave and strong, but I swept him in my arms, ground him against me till his bones broke, till his blood burst out. And now I shall fight for this treasure, fight with both hand and sword. So Beowulf reveals something about himself. He says, I'm not perfect. I too, like Grendel's mother, like the dragon, like Efor, have killed in order to take revenge. When Higelac was killed, Beowulf sought out Higlac's murderer, who was Dagworth, and killed him himself. And didn't just kill him, but squeezed him to death, squeezed the life out of him in a painful death, because he was so angry and so hurt that Higelac was killed. Again, very reminiscent of Grendel's mother and the dragon. And Beowulf uttered his final boast. I have never known fear. As a youth I fought in endless battles. I am old now, but I will fight again, seek fame still, if the dragon, hiding in his tower, dares to face me. So Beowulf gives us the Father's Lament. He talks about his flaws in his past. He recaps his old battles, and he says, I am now going into this battle seeking fame. This is a formal extended speech, so on your characteristics and conventions chart, you should definitely notate this. But more importantly, this is almost like Beowulf is giving his own eulogy, okay? A eulogy at a funeral is when someone gets up and speaks and tells about the accomplishments of the person who is deceased. Beowulf seems to be giving his own eulogy. Then he said his farewell to his followers, each in his turn, for the last time. I'd use no sword, no weapon, if this beast could be killed without it, crushed to death like Grendel, ripped in my hands and torn limb from limb. But his breath will be burning hot, poison will pour from his tongue. I feel no shame, with shield and sword and armor against this monster. When he comes to me, I need to stand, not run from his shooting flames. Stand till fate decides which of us wins. My heart is firm, my hands calm. I need no hot words. Wait for me close by, my friends. We shall see soon who will survive this bloody battle, stand when the fighting is done. No one else could do what I need to hear. No man but me could hope to defeat this monster. No one could try. And this dragon's treasure, his gold and everything hidden in that tower, will be mine, or war will sweep me to a bitter death. So Beowulf says goodbye to his soldiers. He says that there's no one else but me who can fight this battle, mostly because he believes that God is sending this dragon as a mission for Beowulf. Okay? Then Beowulf rose, still brave, still strong, and with his shield at his side and a mail shirt on his breast, strode calmly, confidently toward the tower under the rocky cliffs. No coward could have walked there. On your theme tracker, under courage and bravery, this is a perfect example of a character who exhibits no fear, even when there is the idea that they probably will not win. So, on your theme chart, under courage and bravery, line 2541, no coward could have walked there. What the narrator is saying is that if someone was a coward, they would never even attempt to go fight this dragon like Beowulf is. And then he who had endured dozens of desperate battles, who stood boldly while swords and shields clashed, the best of kings, saw huge stone arches and felt the heat of the dragon's breath, flooding down through the hidden entrance, too hot for anyone to stand, a steaming current of fire and smoke that blocked all passage. So as soon as Beowulf walks into the tower, he feels the hot breath or the fire breath of the dragon. And the Geats' lord and leader, angry, lowered his sword and roared out a battle cry, a call so loud and clear that it reached through the hoary rock, hung in the dragon's ear. The beast rose, angry, knowing a man had come, and then nothing but war could have followed. Its breath came first, a steaming cloud pouring from the stone. Then the earth itself shook. Beowulf swung his shield into place, held it in front of him facing the entrance. The dragon coiled and uncoiled, its heart urging it into battle. Beowulf's ancient sword was waiting, unsheathed, his sharp and gleaming blade. The beast came closer. Both of them were ready, each set on slaughter. The Geats' great prince stood firm, unmoving, prepared behind his high shield, waiting in his shining armor. So, both the dragon and Beowulf are set on killing one another. The Geats' great prince is an epithet, okay? On your characteristics and conventions chart, line 2565 through 2566, the Geats' great prince should be notated. The monster came quickly toward him, pouring out fire and smoke, hurrying to its fate. Flames beat at the iron shield, and for a time it held, protected Beowulf as he planned. Then it began to melt. And for the first time in his life, that famous prince fought with fate against him, with glory denied him. That is foreshadowing. That is also the idea that God is controlling what is happening. No matter what Beowulf tries to do, fate is against him. He knew it, but he raised his sword and struck at the dragon's scaly hide. The ancient blade broke, bit into the monster's skin, drew blood, but cracked and failed him before it emptied him.
221, Sherry Faircloth, dial 221.
So the sword that he actually brings with him, although it bites into the dragon's skin, it actually shatters into pieces. The dragon leaped with pain, thrashed and beat at him, spouted murderous flames, spreading them everywhere, and the Geats' ring-giver did not boast of glorious victories in other wars. His weapon had failed him, deserted him, now when he needed it most. That excellent sword. Edgethor's famous son stared at death, unwilling to leave this world to exchange it for a dwelling in some distant place, a journey into darkness that all men must make, as death ends their few brief hours on earth. Quickly, the The dragon came at him. Encouraged as Beowulf fell back, its breath flared, and he suffered, wrapped around in swirling flames. A king before, but now a beaten warrior. None of his comrades came to him, helped him. His brave and noble followers, they ran for their lives, fled deep in the wood. And only one of them remained, stood there, miserable, remembering, as a good man must, what kinship should mean. So what's really interesting is that Beowulf goes into this battle and he realizes that this may be his last battle, and that he's not as strong as he used to be, and also that he's not the warrior that he used to be. He is immediately attacked by the dragon. The earth shakes. The idea that God is controlling the outcome of this battle is there under your theme tracker in religion. You should notate that God is the one who is determining the outcome of this. Beowulf is losing this battle. His weapons fail him, his strength is failing him, and he is an old, beaten soldier. Then, the guys that are standing outside the tower, who are supposed to be the most fierce warriors in Geatland, who are supposed to, at the moment when they know that their king and leader is suffering, they should be the ones that run in and help him. They all beat feet and go into the woods. One man remains, because there is only one of all of them that knows what it is to be a true leader and warrior.